In today's video, we're diving into a decision I made that might surprise you. I gave up composting. While many promote it as an eco-friendly necessity, my experience revealed some overwhelming challenges that made it impractical for me. From time commitments and pest problems to the reality that my compost never turned out as expected, I found that the process was more of a hassle than a help. Join me as I share the reasons behind my decision and explore why it might be time for you to reconsider composting too. 1. The time commitment was overwhelming. When I first started composting, I underestimated how much time it would suck out of my week. Between hauling kitchen scraps outside, turning the pile, and making sure everything was layered just right, it felt like a second job. According to a 2024 survey published by the National Waste and Recycling Association, the average home composter spends about 2 to 3 hours a week managing their pile. That's more than some people spend doing laundry. I realized I'd rather spend that time with my family or relaxing after work. The idea of set it and forget it composting was a myth for me. Neglecting the pile just led to more problems. The time investment became a deal breaker. 2. Rodents and pests became a nightmare. As much as I tried to keep my bin tidy and sealed, critters soon discovered my compost. Rats, raccoons, and flies turned my backyard into their favorite restaurant. The United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, actually warns that improper composting can attract pests, especially in urban areas. In 2023, local pest control companies reported a 15% increase in rodent calls linked directly to backyard composting. Even with all the precautions, I couldn't keep them out. It was both gross and a little scary, especially with young kids around. I found myself dreading what I'd find each time I opened the bin. 3. The odor was impossible to ignore. Composting is supposed to smell earthy and pleasant, at least, that's what all the articles promised. But after a few weeks, the reality was far less rosy. A 2023 study from the University of California, Davis, found that 62% of home composters reported strong, unpleasant odors, especially in warmer climates. Even with the right mix of greens and browns, my pile started to reek, especially after rain. My neighbors started dropping hints about the smell wafting over the fence. The embarrassment was real, and no amount of turning or adding newspaper seemed to help. Eventually, I just felt self-conscious every time I stepped outside. 4. Lack of space made it impractical. Not everyone has a big backyard, and I quickly learned that my small urban plot wasn't up for the job. The average recommended space for a compost bin is at least 3 feet by 3 feet, according to the U.S. Composting Council. My little patio was cramped already, and the bin took up precious room I'd rather use for a grill or a few plants. A 2024 report from the Urban Sustainability Institute found that 58% of city dwellers who quit composting did so because of space constraints. I felt squeezed and frustrated, and the compost bin just didn't fit my lifestyle. 5. Contamination ruined my effort. One banana sticker or the wrong kind of food scrap, and my compost was basically ruined. It's shockingly easy to contaminate a pile with plastics, glossy paper, or even certain fruit peels. The Compost Research and Education Foundation reported in 2023 that more than 1/3 of home composters accidentally introduce contaminants that make the compost unsafe or unusable. Sorting trash became a stressful daily ritual, with constant Googling about what was okay and what wasn't. I started to worry that my eco-friendly efforts were actually harming the soil. The pressure to be perfect just sucked the joy out of it. 6. Compost never turned out right. I had visions of rich, crumbly compost feeding my garden, but reality hit different. My pile was often too wet or too dry, and it never fully broke down. According to a 2025 consumer report from Gardener's World, only 41% of home composters feel satisfied with the quality of their finished compost. I tried every tip and hack out there, but the result was always the same: a lumpy, half-rotted mess. It was discouraging to put in so much work for so little payoff. Eventually, I just stopped using it in my garden because I didn't trust what I was spreading. 7. Composting isn't as green as advertised. It turns out that home composting isn't always the environmental slam dunk it's made out to be. A peer-reviewed study by the Environmental Science and Technology Journal in 2023 revealed that poorly managed compost piles can actually emit significant amounts of methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. The report found that up to 30% of backyard composters inadvertently create these emissions by letting their piles go anaerobic. Municipal composting facilities, which are engineered to control emissions, are often much more efficient. I started wondering if my little pile was doing more harm than good. 8. Municipal composting offers a better solution. Many cities now offer curbside composting or centralized drop-off programs. According to the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, over 300 U.S. cities had municipal compost programs by early 2025, up from just 150 in 2020. These programs use industrial-scale methods to break down food waste safely and efficiently, with far fewer emissions and no rodent problems. When I switched to dropping my scraps at the local collection site, the process was easy and guilt-free. I felt like I was making a real impact without all the hassle. For most people, this approach is far more practical and effective. 9. Composting can be a mental drain. It surprised me how much composting started to weigh on my mind. There's a constant worry about balance. Am I adding enough browns? Is the pile too wet? Am I attracting pests? According to a 2024 survey by the American Psychological Association, 29% of respondents said they felt eco-anxiety about whether they were composting correctly. The pressure to be a good environmentalist became exhausting. I started to dread meal prep because of the mental math involved in sorting scraps. Eventually, I realized I needed to protect my own well-being, too. 10. It's okay to let go of composting guilt. There's a lot of pressure on individuals to solve big problems like food waste and climate change, but the reality is that system-wide solutions matter more. Researchers from MIT published a 2023 report showing that collective action, like supporting municipal composting and advocating for food policy reform, has a much bigger impact than individual efforts. I stopped beating myself up for giving up composting at home. Instead, I found other ways to make a difference, like buying less food and supporting local farmers. Sometimes, letting go is the smartest thing you can do.